Welcome to the Top 1% Book Club. We're diving deep into Simon Sinek's Start With Why today.
Oh, it's a great book.
It really is.
It's helped so many people.
It has. It's all about unlocking your potential, both personally and professionally.
Yeah.
And we're going to break down all those key takeaways.
It really challenges you to think differently about leadership and success.
Totally.
It's not just about what you do or even how you do it,
Right.
but why you do it.
That's the big question, right? The why.
Why?
And Sinek introduces this concept called the golden circle,
Yes.
which is really a powerful framework of understanding this whole idea.
Most organizations communicate from the outside in. They start with what they do, then how they do it.
Okay.
And maybe, if you're lucky, why.
Okay.
But inspired leaders and organizations, they flip that.
So instead of starting with the what, they start with the why.
Yes.
But what does that even mean? Like in practice,
Yeah.
what does a why look like?
Well, think of Apple. Their why isn't just to make great computers. It's to challenge the status quo, to empower individuals through technology.
So it's not just about the product itself,
Right.
but the feeling, the idea behind it.
Precisely.
And that's how they can like charge a premium
Yeah.
for their products.
People are willing to pay more because they feel like they're part of something bigger,
Right.
something meaningful.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But how does this connect with the whole golden circle thing?
Yeah.
And like how our brains are wired?
So the way we communicate, starting with why it aligns with how our brains are structured.
Okay.
The limbic system, the part of the brain that controls emotions and decision-making,
Right.
it doesn't process language.
Really?
It processes feelings.
Wow. Okay.
Think about a time you were truly inspired by someone.
Yeah.
It wasn't just their words. It was
Right.
the passion,
Yeah.
the belief behind those words.
You felt it on a gut level.
Exactly.
So how do we apply this to our own lives? How do we figure out our own why?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
Sinek provides a really helpful framework
Anyway.
for discovering your why.
Okay.
He says it's not something you invent, it's something you uncover.
So it's already there,
It is.
waiting to be discovered.
Exactly.
How do we dig it out?
He suggests looking back at your life,
Okay.
identifying patterns in the things that have brought you the most fulfillment,
Oh, okay.
the moments where you felt truly alive, truly engaged.
So thinking about those peak experiences,
Yes.
like where we felt most aligned with ourselves,
Exactly.
and then asking ourselves, like, what was it about those experiences
Yeah.
that resonated so deeply?
What values were at play?
So it's not just about what we did, but why it mattered to us.
Right?
I'm starting to get it.
You'll start to see patterns emerge, and that's where your why starts to reveal itself.
This is making a lot of sense.
Good.
So let's say we've figured out our why. How do we communicate it effectively? How do we inspire others with it?
Clarity and authenticity are key.
Okay.
Be able to articulate your why in a way that's simple and clear and resonates with others.
Oh.
And it has to be genuine.
Right.
People can spot a fake a mile away.
Totally.
So no marketing tricks.
No buzzwords.
It has to come from a real place of belief.
Yeah, it has to be authentic.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about saying it once.
Right.
It's about living it, breathing it,
Yes.
making it the driving force behind everything you do.
It's a filter for your decisions.
Okay.
When faced with a choice, ask yourself, does this align with my why? Does this move me closer to my purpose?
I love that.
Good.
It's like a gut check
It is.
to make sure we're staying true to ourselves.
When your actions are aligned with your why, that's when you start to build a following,
Okay.
a tribe of people who believe in what you believe in.
That's where the real magic happens.
It is.
When people are united by a shared sense of purpose.
That's what great leaders do. They don't just manage or give orders.
Right.
They inspire, they
They
motivate.
create movements.
It's about creating a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Spreading that inspiration outward.
This is powerful stuff.
It is.
And speaking of leaving a legacy,
Yeah?
Sinek uses some amazing examples in the book
Oh, he does.
of companies and leaders who have done just that.
Absolutely. Companies like Apple, Southwest Airlines, Harley-Davidson.
And they've all achieved incredible success.
They have.
But it's not just random examples, right?
No.
They illustrate specific points from the book,
They're successful because they've managed to stay true to their why
even as they've grown.
and evolved.
So, like, let's unpack these examples a bit.
Okay.
Starting with Apple.
Yeah.
We talked about their why earlier.
Yes.
But how has that played out in their success?
Well, think about their marketing.
Okay.
It's not about specs or features.
Right.
It's about how their products empower you to be creative, to think differently.
Like their whole Think Different campaign.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's about tapping into that desire to break the mold, to challenge the status quo.
So it's not just about the product, it's about the feeling,
Right.
the experience.
Exactly.
And that's why people are willing to pay a premium.
Yeah.
They're not just buying a phone or a computer.
Yeah.
They're buying into a belief system.
They're buying a piece of that why.
Exactly.
And that's what makes Apple so successful.
Makes sense.
They've created a brand that stands for something more than just profits.
It's about building a loyal following.
Yes.
A tribe of people who believe in what you believe in.
And that's what sets truly inspiring leaders and organizations apart. They're not just in it for the money.
Yeah.
They're in it to make a difference.
And that difference can manifest in so many ways.
It can.
It's not just about, changing the world on a grand scale.
Right.
It can be about making a positive impact
Absolutely.
in your own community.
Yeah.
Your workplace, your relationships.
Every single day.
It's about living your why.
Exactly.
And when you do that,
Yeah.
you attract people who are aligned with your values.
Yes.
Who are inspired by your vision.
You create a movement.
That's the power of starting with why.
Yes.
It's not just about achieving success.
Right.
It's about making a difference, leaving a legacy.
That's what Start With Why is all about.
It really is.
Finding your purpose, communicating it effectively, and using it to inspire others to action.
This is so inspiring.
It is a powerful book.
I feel like I'm already seeing the world in a new way.
That's the beauty of it.
It is.
It's not just about reading
No.
it. It's about living it.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you unlock a world of possibilities.
This has been incredible.
Yeah.
I feel like we've just started.
We've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah. This is a great start to our deep dive.
We'll be back in the next part
We will.
to explore even deeper insights from Start With Why.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned. One of the things that really struck me about the book is how Sinek emphasizes that this isn't just about these big world-changing ideas.
Yeah.
It's about applying this framework to every facet of life.
He uses this really interesting analogy.
He does.
The celery test.
Yes.
To illustrate how to make sure our choices align with our why.
Yeah.
Even in everyday situations.
The celery test.
Yeah.
It's so simple but powerful.
It is.
It's basically about asking yourself,
Okay.
if I'm offered a choice between something that's good for me in the long run,
Okay.
like celery,
Like celery.
and
right.
something that's tempting,
Yeah.
but maybe not so beneficial,
Right.
like a bag of chips.
Okay.
Which one would I choose if I was truly committed to my why?
So it's like a gut check for our decisions.
It is.
Does this choice nourish my purpose?
Yes.
Or is it just like a quick fix
Or a distraction.
that might derail me?
And he argues we can apply this to business decisions,
Okay.
personal choices,
Right.
even relationships.
Okay, interesting.
Are you surrounding yourself with people who support your why?
Yeah.
Or are they dragging you down?
It's about making sure every decision, big or small,
Yes.
moves us closer to our purpose.
Speaking of companies that have managed to stay true to their why,
Yeah.
even as they've grown,
Okay.
Southwest
I
Airlines,
love Southwest.
they're so positive and fun.
Yeah, they are.
But how does their why translate into their business success?
Right.
Well, their why isn't just about providing cheap flights.
Okay.
It's about democratizing air travel,
Interesting.
making it accessible
Right.
and enjoyable for everyone.
I see.
And that permeates their entire culture,
Okay.
from their hiring practices
Right.
to their customer service.
So it's not just a slogan.
It's not.
It's embedded in everything they do.
They empower their employees to make decisions that align with that why,
So it creates this sense of ownership and pride in their work.
which translates into happy customers who come back again and again.
It's like a virtuous cycle.
It is.
And it all stems from having a clear
Yes.
and compelling why.
Now, on the flip side,
Okay.
Sinek also talks about what happens when companies lose sight of their why.
Okay.
He uses the example of Walmart after Sam Walton passed away.
That's interesting. I've always thought of Walmart as a very successful company,
Oh, they are?
but I guess even successful companies can get off track.
Absolutely.
Right.
In Walmart's case, their original why, which was to serve people,
Okay.
got overshadowed by a focus on low prices at any cost.
So the how became more important than the why.
Exactly. And while that strategy worked for a while, it eventually led to a decline in customer satisfaction, employee morale, and even some legal troubles.
Wow.
It's like they built their house on a shaky foundation.
Right.
And that's why Sinek stresses that it's not enough to just discover your why. You have to constantly nurture it, protect it, and make sure it remains at the heart of everything you do.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
So how do we know if our why is truly resonating with others?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
One of the key indicators is loyalty.
Okay.
Do you have customers who are so passionate about your brand that they're willing to pay a premium for your products or services?
So it's not just about attracting customers.
No.
It's about creating, like, raving fans.
Exactly.
Right.
And on the employee side, do you have a team that is truly engaged and invested in the company's mission?
Right.
Are they going above and beyond because they believe in what they're doing?
Because they feel connected to something bigger than themselves.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And when you see those signs, that's when you know that your why is truly having an impact.
This is all so fascinating.
It is.
But I have to admit, I'm still a little unsure about how to, like, articulate my own why.
I understand.
It feels like such a big, abstract concept.
It can feel overwhelming at first.
Yeah.
But remember, Sinek provides a lot of practical advice in the book on how to do this.
Okay.
He suggests starting by identifying your contribution, your unique value to the world.
So asking ourselves, like, what do I bring to the table?
Yes.
What makes me different?
And then connecting that to your passion, to the things that light you up.
So finding that sweet spot where our talents and our passions intersect.
Precisely.
Right.
And once you have a clearer sense of that,
Yeah.
you can start to craft a why statement that captures the essence of who you are and what you stand for.
And this statement doesn't have to be perfect right away, right?
It doesn't.
It's something we can refine and iterate on over time.
It's a journey of self-discovery.
It is.
The more you explore your why, the more it will become ingrained in everything you do.
It's like a muscle that gets stronger with practice.
Now, another important aspect of communicating your why is understanding the difference between energy and charisma.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the distinction?
Well, energy can be motivating, but charisma is inspiring.
Okay.
Energy is something you can easily see and copy, but charisma comes from a deep-seated clarity of why.
So it's not just about being loud or enthusiastic.
Right.
It's about that unwavering belief that shines through.
Think about truly charismatic leaders throughout history. They weren't necessarily the most extroverted or energetic people in the room, but they had an unshakable belief in their cause, their why.
And that's what drew people to them.
It did.
Right.
They inspired a following because people believed in their vision.
Exactly. That's the power of starting with why.
It is.
It's not just about achieving success.
Right.
It's about creating a movement, a tribe of people who believe in what you believe in.
This is so inspiring.
It is. I'm feeling really motivated to start putting these ideas into practice.
Good.
But I also know that success can be a challenge in itself. How do we stay true to our why when things start to get complicated?
That's a great question, and it's something that Sinek addresses directly in the book. He argues that success can actually be a trap if we're not careful.
How so?
When things are going well, it's easy to get complacent.
Right.
To start focusing on the results rather than the why that got us there in the first place.
It's like we get so caught up in the what and the how that we lose sight of the why.
And that's when the split happens.
Right.
The disconnect between purpose and action.
And this split can have a ripple effect throughout the entire organization, right?
Absolutely. When the why is no longer the driving force, it affects everything from employee morale to customer loyalty.
Right.
People start to feel like they're just cogs in a machine.
And that's the opposite of what we're trying to create here.
Right. So how do we avoid this trap? Sinek suggests that we need to constantly remind ourselves and our teams of the why.
So it's about making it a part of our daily conversations.
Yes.
Our decision-making processes, our overall culture.
Exactly. We need to celebrate the wins that are aligned with our why. And we need to be willing to course correct when we veer off track.
It's about staying vigilant.
It is.
Making sure that our actions are always reflecting our purpose.
Precisely. And that brings us back to the golden circle.
Right.
It's not just a framework for understanding why.
Right.
It's a tool for staying grounded, in our why.
Right.
Even when things get tough.
It's like a compass that guides us on our journey.
And it's a journey that's worth taking.
It is.
Because when we start with why,
Yeah,
unlock our potential to inspire others, to make a difference, and to live a more fulfilling life.
This has been such a rich and insightful conversation.
It has.
I feel like I've gained so much clarity on the power of why.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
We have. There's so much more to explore in Start with Why. We'll be back in the next part to delve into some of the more nuanced aspects of the book.
We will.
Including Senek's insights on building trust, navigating the challenges of success, and staying true to your purpose in a constantly changing world.
Stay tuned. We'll also explore how you can apply these principles to your own life and work, starting today. One of the things that keeps coming up for me is this idea of authenticity.
Totally.
Like, it's this underlying thread that connects all the different concepts in the book.
It really is. Sinek emphasizes that people can spot a fake a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
If your why isn't genuine, if it's not something you truly believe in,
right,
it won't resonate with others.
It's like trying to build a house on a foundation of sand.
Exactly.
It might look impressive for a while,
right,
but eventually it's going to crumble.
So it's not just about coming up with, like, a catchy slogan or a mission statement.
It's about aligning our actions with our deepest convictions.
And when you do that, when your why is deeply rooted in who you are,
it gives you a sense of clarity and purpose.
It's like an inner compass that guides you through the ups and downs of life.
And it also makes you more resilient in the face of challenges.
Okay.
When you know your why, you're less likely to get derailed by setbacks or criticism.
I could see that.
You have that strong sense of purpose that keeps you moving forward.
I'm curious, though, about this whole idea of building a movement. Of inspiring others to, like, join us in our why.
Right.
It seems like a pretty daunting task.
It can be.
Right.
But Sinek reminds us that it doesn't have to happen overnight.
Okay.
It starts with small, consistent actions that are aligned with our purpose.
So it's about leading by example, showing others what it looks like to live our why.
And it's also about creating a culture of trust and belonging.
Okay.
Where people feel safe to share their own ideas and perspectives.
It's about empowering others to find their own why.
Yes.
And to contribute to something bigger than themselves.
Precisely. And when you do that, you create a ripple effect that can extend far beyond your immediate circle.
It's like planting a seed that grows into a beautiful garden.
And speaking of growth,
Sinek
also talks about the challenges of success.
Okay.
He argues that success can actually be a trap.
I wouldn't think of success as a trap.
I know, right?
But I guess I can see how it could be.
When we achieve a certain level of success, it's easy to get complacent.
Right.
To start focusing on maintaining that success rather than continuing to innovate and grow.
It's like we reach the top of the mountain and then we just sit there and admire the view.
Exactly.
Instead of continuing to explore.
And that's when the split happens.
Okay.
The split between the why that got us to the top and the actions we take to stay there.
So how do we avoid falling into this trap? How do we make sure our success doesn't become our downfall?
Sinek suggests that we need to constantly challenge ourselves to stay curious, to keep asking why, and to never lose sight of the bigger picture.
So it's about staying hungry, staying humble, and never taking our success for granted.
And it's also about surrounding ourselves with people who will challenge us to keep growing and evolving.
It's about building a team that will help us stay true to our why.
Exactly.
Even when things get tough.
This has been such a thought-provoking conversation.
It really has.
I feel like we've really unpacked the essence of start with why.
We have. What are some final thoughts you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that starting with why is not just a business strategy. It's a way of life.
It really is.
It's about aligning our actions with our values, creating a culture of trust and belonging, and inspiring others to join us in our purpose.
It's a journey that's open to everyone.
It is.
You don't have to be a CEO or a world leader to make a difference. All you need is a clear why.
Yes.
And the courage to live it out loud.
So, to wrap up this deep dive, I want to challenge our listeners to take some time to reflect on their own why.
What is it that drives you? What is your unique contribution to the world?
And once you have a clearer sense of your why, don't be afraid to share it.
Let it shine through in everything you do.
Because when you start with why,
Yeah.
you unlock a world of possibilities.
You create a ripple effect that can inspire others and make a positive impact on the world.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the power of why.
Until next time, keep asking why and keep striving to make a difference.